I discovered a surprising trick that made loneliness and isolation very easy to deal with, and I didn't get it from therapy. I found it in anime. When the lockdown began, I thought I won the introvert lottery. I mean, you're telling me I don't have to go to school or work, and I don't have to be around people? Sign me up. I can watch anime and play video games whenever I want. What more can I ask for? During the early part of the pandemic, I was having the time of my life, but after 6 weeks, I woke up, stared at the ceiling and thought, it's the same routine again, isn't it? I started to miss people. That was weird. I kept watching anime to pass the time, but then I noticed something new. The characters were doing things that could help me cope with being alone, so I decided to try them, and they worked so well that the rest of lockdown was a breeze. I still use these tips when I choose to disappear and recharge for a while. Here's how anime taught me to deal with being lonely. I kept in touch with my family and friends. Just before the lockdown started, Buffet was airing, and since it was done, I decided to watch it. In the anime, Kaede was introduced to a game called New World Online by her friend Lisa. She got into the game, and that helped her to keep in touch and spend time with her friends when she wasn't around them. She also made new friends in the game too. When I watched it, I said, how did I not realize something so simple? And then I called my friends and asked them, which online games are you guys playing now? And they all said, PUBG, and I decided to play it too, even though I don't like shooting games. I played terribly, but I had a lot of fun playing with the boys. I also called my family too. So if you're lonely and you need a bit of human interaction, talk to your family and hang out with your friends virtually. It's the closest way to be with them without actually being there, and hanging out with them will make you feel less lonely. You can also make more friends like I did when you play online video games. Playing PUBG and talking with my family wasn't enough. After all, I can't do that all day. I needed something else, so I focused on my hobbies. I've always loved making beats, but at that time, I wasn't very good at it, and because of school and life, I didn't have the time to get better. But during the lockdown, I suddenly had a lot of time. The producer that I followed on YouTube was having a beat contest, so I decided to watch a lot of tutorials, get better, and see if I can submit some beats before the deadline. Making new music after a long time was so fun. They didn't always sound good, but it didn't matter to me. I wasn't bored anymore. That's how Sakura dealt with loneliness too. She was in a hospital because she had an illness that was killing her slowly, but listening to I's music helped her cope with the loneliness and negative thoughts. Even though her story had a bad ending, she shows how effective a distraction is, and she had a lot of fun to the end. So if you're lonely, do something you really like, or if you want to do something new, find a hobby on the internet. There are a lot of things that you can take as a hobby, and when you find one you like, you lose yourself in it and time will just fly by. After all, time flies when you're having fun. You don't feel so lonely anymore. Another thing I did was to take care of myself. I was eating well and sleeping well. I had a lot of time on my hands after all, but I wasn't getting the kind of physical exercise I was used to. I loved playing football a lot, and I used to train with the school team and go to the beach at least once a week to play football with anyone I found. But during the lockdown, that wasn't possible. I really miss football. To deal with that, I decided to do some minor exercise and play football with myself by kicking the ball at the wall and trapping it a particular way. I'd even set challenges for myself, and it allowed me to have fun by myself for long periods of time. The exercise made me eat better and sleep better too. I learned it from Senku. In Dr. Stone, every human in the world was turned into stone. Senku stayed away by counting every second, and after 3,700 years, he broke free. But he was the only human being in the world that time. He dealt with it by doing the basics, looking for shelter, food, clothing, and taking care of himself because his body was his only tool. The last thing I did was to lock in. When Senku had his food, clothing, and shelter sorted out, he decided to set a goal of reviving every human being that was petrified. He knew that he didn't break free from the stone by accident, so he decided to learn why it happened and how to replicate it. After a while, he learned how to create a fluid that would free people from being petrified, and he revived his best friends, Daiji and Yasudiha. The goal I focused on was learning new things about music, making a great beat, and submitting a beat before the deadline. A lot of time passed, and I managed to make the best beats I had ever made, and I submitted them for the contest. It's an event that over 100 people submitted beats for, and it was a long stream. When my beats came up, the chat went crazy, and I got about 30th place. Out of about 400 entries, I think that was pretty good. It's one of my favorite memories. Locking in can make you feel less lonely. So if you look at your hobbies and you find a goal worthy of your focus, then lock in and achieve that goal. You won't feel lonely anymore and the time will fly by. That's how anime taught me to stop feeling very lonely during the lockdown. I hope there won't be another event like the COVID-19 outbreak, but if there ever is, we'll handle it way better than last time. And if you feel isolated or lonely due to some other reasons, I'm sorry for what you're going through, and I'm sending you love and light from here. If you can follow these tips, please do. It'll make it easier to deal with being lonely or isolated. Thanks for watching. How did you guys cope during the pandemic? I'd really like to hear your stories, so tell me about it in the comments. If you've isolated yourself because you're scared of social situations, I have a video about how anime teaches you to get over your fear of people and social interactions, so if it tickles your fancy, you can watch it. Don't forget to take care of yourself, drink water, watch anime and have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Jane.